On the news tonight, House of Representatives, Nigeria Labour Congress, medical doctors call for fuel price reduction as petrol hits over 800 naira per litre. President Bola Tinubu reaffirms the economic partnership with China, commends $280 billion bilateral trade. Lagos State House of Assembly amends appropriation law of over 2 trillion naira 2024 budget. And on the foreign scene, EU's former chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, becomes France's prime minister. Many thanks for joining us and welcome to the news at 8. I am Adibimpe Omotayo. Now, President Bola Tinubu says that China-African relations is a foundation built on trust, mutual respect, and the pursuit of common goals. The president said it is crucial that the two parties maintain the momentum through peaceful dialogue, transparent business practices, and diplomatic conflict resolution. This was the high point of President Tinubu's address at the opening session of the Forum for Africa-China Cooperation in Beijing, China. He said these shared values will ensure that the bond between Africa and China continue to deepen and benefit both regions for generations yet to come. President Tinubu explained is that the success of the cooperation and broader partnership emphasized the important truth that global progress is not a zero-sum game, but by working together and looking for the win-win solutions, both parties create opportunities for success, people development, and shared prosperity.
Through high-level engagement, strategic agreement, and a shared vision of growth. Throughout our journey, there have been defining moments that have shaped this partnership. China has consistently demonstrated its commitment to Africa, not only through financial and developmental support, but also through cultural exchanges that bring our people closer and closer together. The establishment of the Institute and Chinese cultural centers across Africa exemplifies the depth of our cultural fusion and shared learning. A landmark of our relationship came in the year 2000 with the establishment of the FOCA. This platform has been pivotal in strengthening our economic ties and reaffirming our commitment to mutual progress. Together,
the Nigerian leader adds that China's Belt and Road Initiative aligns with Africa's infrastructure goals under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The economic partnership trade between Africa and China has grown exponentially, reaching an estimated $280 billion. And back home in Abuja, the Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives has condemned the recent increase in the price of petrol by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. The leader of the Minority Caucus in the House, Honorable Kingsley Chinda, in a statement said that the development was not only ill-timed, but also grossly insensitive to the harsh economic conditions currently being experienced by Nigerians across the country. He added that a further increase in the price of gasoline would not only exacerbate the suffering of the average Nigerian, as the ripple effect of such an increase were far-reaching, impacting the cost of transportation, food, and other essential goods and services. Chinda further stressed that this will ultimately erode the already fragile purchasing power of millions of citizens, pushing more families into poverty, and urged the federal government to ensure that subsidies genuinely benefited the masses rather than a few privileged individuals. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Heineken Lokobiri, says there is enough petroleum products in the country to be able to meet the demands of Nigerians. As such, there should be no panic buying. The minister said this after meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Aso Villa. Lokobiri expressed President Bola Tinubu's concerns about the ongoing experience of Nigerians over the high cost of the product. The minister said it is important for the citizens to know that the government is not in the business of fixing prices of petroleum products. He added that though the prices may be higher in some parts of the country than others, but between now and the weekend, there will be availability of products across the length and breadth of the country. The executive director of the Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Mugo Kalu Okoha, said all regulatory efforts are now geared towards stabilizing supply, with a resultant impact that it will be positive also on the stability of price. To that objective, he said the regulator is ensuring that there is increased operating hours from all loading depots, while vessels are being cleared promptly under extended hours where safety can permit. Also at the meeting with the Vice President are the Group Managing Director of Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, over the recent hike in the price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol. Now, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has expressed strong opposition to the recent hike in petroleum pump prices, warning that the increase will increase poverty levels among workers. TUC President Festus Osifo urged the federal government to rescind these decisions, promote policies that will strengthen the naira, and take decisive steps to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians. The TUC argued that the sudden hike implemented without consultation with key stakeholders shows our disregard for the welfare of Nigerians, particularly the working class, who are most affected by such measures. According to him, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria remains committed to defending the rights and interests of Nigerian workers and will continue to advocate for policies and promote social justice, fair wages, and a decent work environment. Meanwhile, the Lagos chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association has urged President Bola Tinubu to prioritize the welfare of Nigerians by immediately reversing the price hike of petrol to its previous level. Joining the call in a statement signed by its chairman, Dr. Saheed Babajide Kehinde, the NMA Lagos said this unilateral decision has imposed a further unbearable hardship on Nigerians, including their members, medical and dental doctors who are already grappling with severe economic challenges and insecurity. The statement added that many of these members are being forced to leave the country in droves due to the dismal economic situation, and this recent development will only exacerbate the already dire circumstances they face. The association said it stands firm in its commitment to advocating for the well-being of all its members who continue to provide essential healthcare services under increasingly difficult conditions. Also, the People's Democratic Party has rejected the new increase in the pump price of petrol to about 1,000 naira per litre in various parts of the country. The National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugunagba, in a statement described the hike in fuel price as thoughtless, especially at this time, urging President Tinubu to save the country from further socio-economic challenges by immediately reversing the latest increase in fuel price, as Nigerians could not bear fuel price increase, worsening effect on suffocating economic hardship which they currently faced. He added that the secretive administration of the petroleum sector and persistent increase in fuel price without due regard to the well-being of the people had implications. Olugbagba described the action as anti-people and a show of unconcern to the agonies of millions of Nigerians who could no longer afford their daily meals, medications and basic support for families due to the high cost of living. And away from the hike in fuel price, the Lagos State government has extended the work from home policy for civil servants due to the rising cost of living. In a statement, Lagos State Head of Service, Bode Agoro, said the government has extended the flexible work initiative for another 3 months to assuage the effects of the removal of petrol subsidy. Recall that in February, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu announced that workers on grades level 01 to 14 should work from home for 2 days a week, while those on grade levels 15 to 17 should work from home for 1 day. Now, still from the Center of Excellence, the State House of Assembly has amended the Appropriation Law of 2024 that has a size of over 2 trillion naira. The reordering is sequel to a letter dated August 9, 2024 and sent to the House by the State Governor. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Olatunde Yusuf reports.
The House, at a plenary, gave the approval after the chairman, House Committee on Economic Planning and Budget, Honorable Lukman Olumo, presented the reports and recommendations of the committee before the House. Though the total budget size remains the same, the recurrent expenditure was reduced from its original size, while the capital expenditure was increased following the reordering.
That a bill for law to authorize the issuance an appropriation of 935 billion 377 million 28,422 naira from the Consolidated Revenue Fund for recurrent expenditure and 1 trillion 332 billion 599 million 92,448 naira from the Development Fund for capital expenditure, thereby totaling a revised budget of 2 trillion 267 billion 976 million 120,869 naira for the year ending 31st December 2024. Be read a third time. I so move.
The capital expenditure was reviewed upward from 947 billion 653 billion to 949 billion 499 billion, which is good for the people of Lagos because the capital expenditure is reducing. Now, overhead cost reduced from 588 to 556, which means our overhead is even reducing.
Honorable Lumo explained to the House that in the letter sent in by the governor, the rationale for the request to redistribute the budget included the need to boost the appropriation to some ministries, agencies and parastatals, emphasizing the need to meet the state government's commitments to the residents through the budget. The bill, which was read for the third time at the sitting, presided over by the Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was eventually passed into law after the Speaker announced to his colleagues who unanimously voted in favor of the bill.
Totally a revised budget size of 2 trillion 267 billion 976 million 120,869 for the year ending the 4th December 2024 be passed into law. All in favor say aye. Those against nay, the ayes are.
The Speaker thereafter directed the Clerk of the House to forward a clean copy of the bill to the Governor for his assent. Olatunde Yusuf, LTV News.
Now, the Lagos State government says there is no going back on the enforcement of environmental laws and restoration of drainage channels. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, made this commitment during the inspection tour of drainage channels in Ojo local government. Bukola Teloko reports.
The inspection team is led by the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, and they're here in Ojo local government to examine water channels in the council areas with a determination to rid the environment of all infractions.
The governor awarded the contract for the restoration for some critical projects on this axis. We started with the one around the chassis, Okeodon. Axis, where you saw what happened. People purposely and willfully built on the channel, and then there had been served notices, so we have to start the enforcement. Luckily, the contractor was also on site with us.
The commissioner, while expressing his displeasure at the flagrant disregard for the environment, says notices have been served to all violators. At Alabarago, the team assessed the level of encroachment.
It's just to let people know that we are not dropping the ball, and the weather had been very favorable, so we have no excuse than to just move to site, clean them up, restore the right of way, and then take ownership of this public infrastructure.
The next port of call is Alaba International Market. Here, traders built their stores on the canal path and also degraded the environment with their waste. This, the government says, will not be allowed.
You can't encroach on a public infrastructure like a collector, a channel, be it primary, be it secondary, and you think the government will not come for you someday. We've done sensitization, we've reached out to them, we've done advocacy. We won't stop the advocacy, but we also need to enforce. Because there's no reason why you have a law if you can't enforce your law. And developments are deliberately planned. They are not magical things that come just upon you without planning.
We're able to show him the areas we are having challenges. Though we have shown us the drainage, that some percentage or some meters that will be taken. And to me, at least we are having a problem of flood whenever it rains here. I believe if they go by what you have just said, the problem of flood will be a thing of the past. Then we have also seized this opportunity to take him to where we are having contention, where some group of land grabbers have come to take some portion of the land that belongs to Alaba. So thank God they have seen it, because they have used the influence of governments to shift the original drainage from where it was originally situated.
Wahab adds that the state government has engaged in a series of sensitization and advocacy campaigns, but that will not stop the enforcement process when necessary. Homeowners and developers are advised to avoid encroaching on these public infrastructure, as the government will not fold its hands and watch them destroy the environment. Bukola Tilakol, LTV News.
Now, the Lagos State Ministry of Health has convened a meeting of experts and other key stakeholders to chart a collaborative path towards effectively creating awareness about hepatitis and the need for vaccination. At the meeting, Lagos residents were advised to embrace regular medical check to help detect early and curb the spread. Health correspondent Aminat Elegushi reports.
Hepatitis remains a major health challenge and proven silent killer of the liver if not attended to. To curb the menace of viral hepatitis is why the Lagos State Ministry of Health is engaging stakeholders in this control program to collectively overcome the spread and create more awareness.
Hepatitis B infection is called a silent killer. Many people who have the infection are not aware they have the infection because typically does not present with symptoms. By the time a person who has hepatitis B has symptoms, many times it's already too late. Either the person already has liver cirrhosis, in which there's massive damage to almost all parts of the liver, or the person goes into liver failure, or the person has liver cancer. Otherwise, in the early stages of infection, the person does not know because he has no symptoms at all.
We are imploring Lagosians to please get to know their status. And how would they assess this care? If they get to any of our general hospitals and even our primary healthcare centers that they want to get tested to know their status, and any individual that is negative is eligible to be vaccinated. And they should ensure that it's a 3-dose vaccination. You get your start dose as at the time you are screened if you are negative, you get your second dose 4 weeks after, and your third dose is 6 months after.
While emphasizing the importance of vaccination, Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Health, Dr. Olusegun Ogboye, says the state government is intensifying efforts to stop the menace of hepatitis.
Hepatitis is one of those diseases that's spreading in the state that a lot of people are not really aware of. And I think we need to, one, ensure that people are more aware of it, and that also people know where they can get access to treatment for it, what tests they need to get done regularly so it can be picked up very early. The first call is to get tested so you can get vaccinated. I think that is what we will be asking of everyone, because that is the entry point into prevention and is the entry point into care.
Lagos State has the plan. We support the plan. So from the plan that's been done so far, which is more of bringing in stakeholders to see what are the various medium or solutions we as partners can bring onto the table. And one of the areas we've been categorically interested in is clinical support and then financial support as the case may be. So we have also been subsumed into various committees to ensure that we contribute our quota as a company to this cause.
Lagos residents were advised to get checked and vaccinated to help protect the liver and total well-being. Aminat Elegushi, LTV News.
Still ahead. Speaker House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas promises passage of women-related bills. That's in a moment. Stay with us.
Soar beyond boundaries and rich communities. The largest gathering of women changing history. It's the 2024 National Women's Conference, organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, CALSO, with the theme Soar Beyond Boundaries and Rich Communities. Starting from Tuesday, 10 September to Wednesday, 11 September 2024 at the Convention Center, Eco Hotel and Suite Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 9 a.m. daily. Renowned speakers will include Dr. Oluwatoni Adeyemi, Mrs. Temitope Okunu, Professor Rotimi Koka, and Honorable Mrs. Opeyemi Akindele, among others, who will be sharing the wealth of experience on various topics on how to prevent and manage communicable diseases, transformative social welfare, and boy-child development, among others. Special guest of honor, opening ceremony, His Excellency Governor Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom State. Special guest for the closing ceremony, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. And special guest gracing the gala night, His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State. Yes, there will be a gala night with mouth-watering prizes to be won. Conference fee is 120,000 naira for physical participants and 30,000 naira for virtual attendees. Physical stores are available. Come join us at the 2024 National Women's Conference as we inspire, empower, and soar beyond boundaries together. For more information, please visit our website www.calso2024nwc.org. Announcer, Chairman Calso, Convener NWC, Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Sanwo-Olu, Vice Chairman Calso and Co-Convener NWC, Chief Mrs. Oluremi Hamzat, Chairperson of the 2024 NWC, Professor Olufunke Adiyeyi.
It's still the news at 8 on Lagos Television. Now, the federal government has approved a 50% increase in the feeding allowance for inmates in Nigeria effective August 2024 to address rising food costs and improve inmate welfare. The spokesperson for the Nigeria Correctional Service, Abubakar Umar, describes the measure as the first phase of a broader review intended to enhance living conditions for inmates. He added that further reviews would follow, particularly due to the soaring cost of food. Recall the latest figures of inmates from the NCOS is 84,575 inmates. And in other news stories, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, says the ongoing constitution review will address discrimination against women, saying the House was working to ensure that all women-related bills that did not get favorable consideration during the Ninth Assembly will take front burner. He was speaking during an interactive session with some youths participating in the 2024 training of Legislative Mentorship Initiative, as he urged them to always pay attention to details and not be carried away by the euphoria of modern technology. He said that this is not only by paying attention to details that the youths can achieve success and become good leaders. Abbas urged the young participants to take full advantage of the initiative by engaging actively with mentors, stating that mentorship is a two-way street. While mentees learn from experienced legislators, mentors also gain fresh perspectives from younger generations. The Speaker noted that the success so far recorded under the leadership of the House has hinged on his principle of trust, accountability and transparency, which has been the hallmark of the 10th House. Now, members of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials Council have embarked on a pre-conference awareness walk to the Badagry division of the state. The work is to sensitize the people on the forthcoming program, the current activities of the group, and what they stand to gain when they attend this year's conference. Aditola Kayode reports.
The train of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials Council landed at the ancient city of Badagry as part of pre-conference activities heralding the 24th National Women's Conference. The women, led by the First Lady of Lagos State, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, and the wife of the Deputy Governor, Oluremi Hamzat, embarked on an awareness walk sensitizing residents about the Women's Conference scheduled for September 10 and 11, 2024. The tour took the women round historic sites in Badagry, including the first story building in Nigeria, Agiatri, Slave Market, amongst others.
We have women from different states coming together, converging, networking, learning together, and lifting other women up, encouraging women, not limiting ourselves, ensuring that women are accountable, women can move the boundaries of their limitations, women can improve Nigeria as a whole. We are wives of Lagos State officials. We know that our husbands are working tirelessly to ensure that we have a greater Lagos. And so the women there are not just, like I keep on saying, fine face, no brain, but beauty and brains goes together. And that is what it's all about.
The council team also visited two notable women in Badagry, Mrs. Modukbe Huenu, the wife of a former chairman of Badagry local government, and Alhaja Kikelomo Ladikon, the current Apex Women leader. They were both celebrated for their indispensable contributions to women's development and human rights advocacy. The 24th National Women's Conference, put together by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials Council, will hold on Tuesday 10th and Wednesday 11th September 2024 with the theme Soar Beyond Boundaries, Enrich Communities. Adetola Kayode, OTV News.
Spa and salon operators in Lagos have been charged to use sterilized tools and abide by safety rules to avoid spreading diseases from person to person. This was emphasized when the Cosmetology Association awarded various health agencies here in Lagos. Ayola Adelisi reports.
It is the maiden edition of the West African Spa and Cosmetology Recognition Award. This award ceremony is focusing on safety and wellness, as it also recognizes health agencies who have ensured safety and enforcement of professionalism.
Spa is health. So recognizing people in the spa and wellness industry shows that health is very important for everyone. So picking all these agencies to recognize them is as a result of their work, their focus. Some are focused on facility management when it comes to health. Some are also on safety. So it's important that they are being recognized to be able to help the industry in total. And there are lots of people who are in the spa and beauty industry that have been there for years without any recognition. So for us, within Africa, there's really not much in that. So we thought it was as an association There were 5 years now to be able to introduce this into West Africa as a whole.
Chief Executive Officer, Lagos State AIDS and Control Agency, Dr. Folakemi Animashaun, a recipient of Safety Standard Agency of the Year Award, urged the practitioners to ensure professionalism at all times.
Wellness and beauty industry, there's a strong synergy between Lagos State Control Agency and all wellness and beauty industry, because most of this wellness and beauty industry, they use sharp objects. So we need to educate them that their objects or their needles or all of their equipment must be well sterilized before using it for another person. So if you use it for this person, you have to sterilize it and then probably use, we even advise if they can even use disposables. So when you use it for one client, then you don't have to reuse it for another client. So there's a very strong synergy because we need to create more awareness, we need to sensitize people that HIV is real, HIV is still out there. So, and one of the various ways that you can contact HIV/AIDS is through sharing of sharp objects, which is most of the, let me say, the major tools that this wellness and beauty industry used.
We encourage them to register their facility with us so that we can know the people that are spa operators in the States. Then we audit their facilities to ensure they are doing the needful. And we also have one of their professionals, who is a spa professional, as our consultant to ensure they do the needful and to prevent accidents and incidents in carrying out their job.
Lagos Television Health Correspondent Aminat Elegushi was also awarded Best Health Reporter of the Year.
This is a call for more work. This is a call for me to do more reports that will, awaken the consciousness of people to embrace healthy lifestyle, to ensure safety in whatever they're using when they go to their salons, when they're using sharp objects, to ensure safety all around so that altogether we can achieve, the elder Lagos of our dream.
Other professionals and partners were also awarded in various categories. Ayola Adelisi, LTV News.
Congratulations, Aminat Elegushi. Now, prominent stakeholders in Ikorodu division have expressed confidence in a brighter future for Nigerians despite the present difficulties. In an exclusive interview with Lagos Television, they agree that contrary to the campaign against Nigeria by detractors, the country is assured of a better future. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adeshegun Egop reports.
Available statistics confirm that Nigeria is the 10th oil-producing country in the world, with a proven reserve of 37 billion barrels. However, Nigerians are experiencing a painful but necessary step from the removal of fuel subsidy, one the government described as hand to an untransparent system.
We are in a transition period, especially with the fuel scarcity. The intention of the government is not to pay too much attention to importation of fuel. They want to seriously rely on the local refineries. The price adjustments will, through the prevailing market situations, we just have to be patient with Mr. President.
Yes, it has been a very difficult time for all of us, and for us to arrive at the promised land as we used to see, we know we have to make certain sacrifice.
Although the subsidy removal is accompanied by rising cost of living, stakeholders in the Ikorodu division are optimistic that the problem of fuel scarcity will soon be a thing of the past.
I'm making a serious and passionate appeal that we should all be guided and be patient. Things are going to get better.
For the president, I know if there is any other easier way to do it, to bring ease to the people, to bring comfort to the people, to bring a dividend of democracy to the people, he will surely do it.
While appealing for patience, they call on government at all levels to be swift in response to the yearnings of Nigerians.
Also want to use the opportunity to appeal to government also to be sincere in whatever programs and policies that they are putting in place.
And the people who want to demand, people are demanding for accountability. They are yearning for reward for their sacrifice.
Our appeal in this division is that we should give peace a chance, allow government to do whatever is necessary, so that to bring the price of everything down.
As we demand for accountability, and as we urge government to rise up to the situation, because the stoppage of importation of fuel or the reduction in the importation of fuel and trying to boost our local production, which of course might not really be sufficient for now. My belief is that with time, it will be balanced.
With a call on Nigerians to be patient, the government, on the other hand, is expected to reciprocate with trust and create conducive environment for Nigerians to live.
Where Nigeria finds itself today is very, very unfortunate. But it cannot do but happen. Everybody has contributed. Let us go back to God and try as much as possible to walk according to the dictates of Almighty Allah. I just want to appeal to everybody. Let us be patient and turn to God in prayers, and let us change our orientation.
Adesegun Igop, LTV News.
Coming up. Lagos State government signs MOU with Chinese company on rice value chain agriculture productivity. That's in business news. Please join us again.
On business news tonight, the Lagos State government has partnered with Yankari Awani Holding Company Limited to develop rice milling and processing technology in the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, via his X handle, announced the state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Chinese firm to enhance the rice mill in Imota, Ikorodu, Lagos. The governor highlighted that the revolutionary collaboration will boost the rice value chain across the state, adding that the collaboration is a significant step for the state as the government works to enhance the Lagos rice mill in Imota, Ikorodu. The governor says the goal is to tap into its wealth of knowledge and technological advancement in rice milling and processing, as they will provide technical advisory support for the optimization and efficiency of rice production during modern agricultural practices, training, and other ancillary services. Governor Sanwo-Olu further stressed that signing this MOU is a testament to his dedication to building international partnership that brings innovative solutions and best practices into the Lagos agricultural sector. The federal government has declared a state of emergency at the Onne ports in Rivers State following the repeated incidents of importation of dangerous cargo, including arms and ammunition, through the ports. To this effect, the government said it is immediately implementing emergency protocols at the Onne ports for the next 3 months by conducting thorough examination of all suspected containers in the premises. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashiru Adeniyi, said the recurring incidents pose a threat to national security, adding that the health of citizens at the Onne ports is increasingly being used as a destination for dangerous and illicit cargo, describing it as a disturbing trend. Adeniyi also stated that 3 X40-feet containers containing 380,000 bottles of 100-meter cough syrup with codeine, 24,480,000 tablets of Royal Tramadol hydrochloride, 5,350 tablets of Tampentadol, and other items with a DPV of over 70 billion naira were seized. The federal government says gas production in Nigeria is growing from 7.5 billion cubic feet per day and is itching to 12 billion cubic feet per day. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekperikpe Ekpo, said the major focus during this second year in office will be to wrap up gas production and turn Nigeria into a gas economy in line with the Decades of Gas initiative. Recall that since the federal government adopted gas as the country's transition fuel, there have been concerns about how sustainable gas production in Nigeria is. However, the gas minister expressed optimism that more gas would be produced, especially as some international oil companies invested to deep water. The Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, says that the petrol subsidy is unsustainable, with the official price of petrol now at 855 naira. The chamber further stated that completely removing subsidy and subjecting Nigerians to a significant fuel price hike present challenges which would potentially lead to another surge in inflation rates. LCCI further stated that the situation is critical when considered against the background of NNPC, which owes suppliers about $6 billion. The chamber adds that as an immediate intervention, it will be beneficial for the Port Harcourt refinery to commence operations alongside production from the Dangote refinery. That's all on business news. Up next are today's figures on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
The heart-pounding African Knockout Championship rocked the capital city as the this-day Dome transformed into a battlefield of unparalleled action and excitement. Enthusiastic fans were treated to a spectacular evening, witnessing fierce showdown across multiple weight divisions, including featherweight, middleweight, lightweight, and women's bantamweight. Nigeria's Segun Ogunaike triumphed via technical knockout over Cote d'Ivoire's formidable Yao Marcel in a high-stakes battle, securing all 4 points in an impressive fashion. The co-main event saw Nigerian warriors Venatus, Ian Agolo, and Melvin Ugochukwu facing off in a thrilling matchup that kept the crowd on the edge of their seats. Venatus emerged victorious with a remarkable technical knockout finish in the first round, sending the arena into a frenzy of cheers and applause. Jackie Layana triumphed over Togo's Fred Kudzeta in the featherweight division. The women's bantamweight category delivered intense action as Teresa Ajiboye secured a unanimous decision win against the tough Amena Ngozi from Cote d'Ivoire.
It was due to hard work, dedication. I was focused and I stayed put. So I would also like to thank God, because without Him, without the glory of the Lord, I wouldn't make it. So today, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. So it was good to hard work.
MMA is not new in Nigeria. We've been representing Nigeria in various championships in Europe, in Asia, and the rest. So what you're seeing here is a hard work of many years, and more is to come. The next generation of fighters are already warming up, and in 3 to 4, 5 years' time, the fighters you see here will be retiring. We have SS fighters.
We actually do have the talents. Like, it's crazy. Like, the fighters, the Nigerian fighters here, the African fighters in general, they put up good fights. You can see the submissions, the TKOs, the knockouts. I watched the fight and the guy was knocked out in 19 seconds. Like, that's crazy, to be honest. I think we can have a chance.
The night featured explosive moments such as Xavier Adams' lightning-fast knockout victory over Dennis Stones in the light heavyweight division.
I think before we started the African Knockout, Nigeria has proven its worth when it comes to the sport, specifically in the mixed martial arts sport, with our 2 champions.
Established in 2020, the African Knockout Championship emerged as a platform showcasing MMA talents through a reality TV show focused on African athletes, blending sports and entertainment. With the inaugural season featuring 11 amateur fighters, the championship has elevated to become a premium event on the Nigerian sports calendar, captivating both local and international audiences with authentic African sporting content. The African Knockout Championship, launched in 2023, stands as the first Pan-African professional boxing and mixed martial arts Combat MMA Championship, solidifying its position as a beacon of excellence in combat sports. Olympic athlete Rebecca Cheptegei has died days after being doused in petrol and set on fire by a former boyfriend. The 33-year-old Ugandan marathon runner who competed in the recent Paris Olympic Games had suffered extensive burns after Sunday's attack. The authorities in northwest Kenya, where Cheptegei lived and trained, said she was targeted after returning home from church with her 2 daughters. Her father, Joseph Cheptegei, said that he had lost a very supportive daughter. A report filed by local administrators alleged the athlete and her ex-partner had been wrangling over a piece of land. There are concerns about the increasing cases of violence against female athletes in Kenya. Cheptegei is the 3rd to have been killed since October 2021. Cheptegei finished 44th in the marathon at the recent Paris Olympic Games. She also won gold at the World Mountain and Trail Running Championship in Chiang Mai, Thailand in 2022. Her death comes after the killing of fellow East African athletes Agnes Tirop in 2021 and Damaris Mutua the following year, with their partners identified as the main suspect in both cases by the authorities. Rebecca Cheptegei's father said she was their family breadwinner. Attacks on women have become a major concern in Kenya. In 2022, at least 34% of women said they had experienced physical violence, according to a national survey.
And on the foreign scene, the European Union former chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, has been named France's new prime minister. The French president's office, who announced this, said it ends 2 months of stalemate following an inconclusive parliamentary elections. The Élysée Palace noted that Barnier's appointment comes after an unprecedented cycle of consultations in order to ensure a stable government. 73-year-old Barnier is a staunch Europhile and a member of the Republican Party, which represents the traditional right. A 40-year veteran of French and European politics, Barnier has held various ministerial positions in France, including roles as a foreign, agriculture and environment ministers. He's best known on the international stage for his role in mediating the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. To end the news, a recap of our major stories. The House of Representatives, Nigerian Labour Congress and medical doctors have called for fuel price reduction as petrol hits 800 naira per litre. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed economic partnership between Africa and China. The president also commended the bilateral trade estimated to reach $280 billion. The Lagos State House of Assembly has amended the appropriation law of over 2 trillion naira 2024 budget sent by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And on the foreign scene, we also told you that the EU's former chief Brexit negotiator, Michael Barnier, has been named France's new prime minister. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. And for our parting shot tonight, respect is a two-way street. If you want to get it, you've got to give it. Now, please remember to call Lagos toll-free lines at 767 or 112 in case of emergencies. Thank you for watching. I am Adibimpe Omotayo.